Yeah, sport mode doesn't really help, it just causes the engine to rev and be noisier than it already is. Yes, it's the humble Mazda 3. For a few years there, it did seem a bit pricey, but now, as prices go up all around it, it has returned to its roots. It's a practical everyday hatchback again. Well, in some ways. This is the mid-level Evolve variant, with the lethargic 2-litre petrol engine. It's not the fastest thing around, but maybe it doesn't need to be. Mazda tried to go for a more premium direction with the latest model, when it launched about 5 years ago, and it has aged quite nicely. The exterior remains sharp and pretty modern, and that massive blind spot causing C-pillar gives it a coupe profile. Make no mistake, this is a good looking hatch. We still don't like that it features a torsion beam rear end. Come on Mazda, you can do better than that. Even a standard petrol Corolla has multi-link. Handling is very good nonetheless. The Evolve comes with these subtle but rather nice 18-inch alloy wheels, wearing 215/45 Bridgestone Turanza tyres. Inside, look, it's definitely a step above the mainstream rivals, in terms of material quality, design and fit and finish. But it is starting to look a bit old now. Things like the big chunky gear shifter, while others turn to shift-by-wire, a pretty average size media screen, and a basic gauge cluster provide some clues. Although, we kind of like this old school stuff, but some more modern buyers might not. The driving position is just awesome though, and the small sporty steering wheel is lovely to hold. And despite this seat trim looking like it's been fading in the sun since the 1990s, the actual seat frame and cushioning underneath offer great comfort and support. Rear seat room is okay for this class, but yeah, that C-pillar and high windowsill. Did someone say car sick? The kids are not going to like that. It's good to see climate vents and a flip-down armrest though, with cup holders. Right up at the back, the boot is rated at just 295 litres. That puts it near the bottom of its class. And it's not like it has a full-size spare wheel sitting underneath. This is an area that Mazda needs to work on for any next generation model, in our opinion. The other area that needs work is this engine. It is kind of refreshing to see a raw, naturally aspirated, unturboed, unelectrified motor in today's world. But matched to a long-geared 6-speed auto, it definitely lacks pep on the open road. This is what it goes like. Out on the road, this is a very well-balanced hatchback. It's not trying to be a hot hatch, but it will still handle some abuse when you push it through a spirited road like this. Some may remember the BYD Dolphin that we tested a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago now, and it was just a bit all over the place. The wheels were spinning, even with the stability control on, and the suspension was far too soft and sloppy. I get it, not all cars are meant to be sports cars, but there is a level of driving dynamics that I think is expected of a normal car, because if you get yourself into a bit of a hazardous situation and you have to suddenly swerve, you want the car to be able to handle it. Or if your kids or something drive the car, you don't want them to be driving something that's flimsy. Whereas this feels very well put together. The steering is nice, got a lot of communication there, and the suspension is absorbing these bumps really well without upsetting the balance of the vehicle. You don't have to worry about wheel spin with this particular variant. The engine is just, it doesn't produce enough torque for that, even with the stability control turned off. So full throttle. And it goes around the corner fine, but yeah, that engine just moans a bit. If you put it into sport mode, the engine revs even more and it kind of just holds the gears, kicks down a bit sooner. But it doesn't change anything fundamentally. Doesn't really want to change up gear either. I think it would benefit from an 8-speed automatic, particularly this engine, the little 2-litre. With the 2.5, it's not too bad because that's got a bit more torque, so it can carry those longer legs a bit easier. Whereas, yeah, the little 2-litre, it just doesn't have enough low-down torque. The suspension is really good. It's absorbing this pretty ordinary road without upsetting the balance of the vehicle. I've got confidence in that the vehicle is going to stay planted and go where I want it to go. Yeah, sport mode doesn't really help. It just causes the engine to rev and be noisier than it already is. The engine is quite noisy. Mazda naturally aspirated engines are known to be quite noisy. That's just because they use the latest technologies like high compression ratio and things like that. You get used to it. From the actual exhaust pipe, it does sound pretty sporty, but from inside the cabin, yeah, it just sort of moans and groans. Overall though, I'll just quieten it down. Overall, this is, yeah, it's a really good little hatchback run around that can handle a nice spirited road and take you for a fun drive, yet it's just a normal hatchback. Let's head out and do the performance test now and see what it goes like.